Most drummers will spend hours every week just working on the fun stuff, learning new songs, finding random beats that you see on the internet and trying to play them, or just jamming out behind the drum set. But the drummers who actually sit down and intentionally focus on understanding the mechanics of how your hands work, the difference is insane. After teaching thousands of drummers at DBO Academy, I've noticed that the ones who really take off just use 4 stupid, simple exercises to skyrocket their progress. And if you follow everything I teach you in this video, your hand speed and control will be unrecognizable in 30 days. Step 1 is the grid, aka your timing and how locked in you are with it. Whether you're playing to a click or not, you are inferring or playing subdivisions. We have 4 main subdivisions that we'll be talking about today: quarter notes, eighth notes, eighth note triplets, and 16th notes. Your ability to connect to the grid is going to be absolutely important for you to make any meaningful progress with your hand speed. So before we touch a single exercise, here's the calibration step. You're going to set your metronome to 80 BPM, and you're going to practice counting through the 4 subdivisions out loud. Your goal is to be able to do this for 1 minute straight without mistakes or inconsistencies. Once you can count out loud the subdivisions at 80 BPM without making mistakes, we're gonna add a single stroke roll to those subdivisions. Here's an example of one cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 E and 2 E, 3 E, 4 E and 1. This is the base level foundation. It's not a beginner concept, it's a foundational concept, guys. You can't just go and start building a high rise on dirt. You need to go down, build a strong foundation before anything above ground takes place. I'm going to include every exercise I teach in this video in the description for you for free so that you can follow along and build some serious control. Let's keep moving forward. The fulcrum is your pivot point where your stick is connected to your hand, okay? It's where everything starts. And I only learned how to hold my stick correctly after 12 years at least. First of all, the fulcrum point is the pivot point. Usually, depending on the stick you're using, it's about 1/3 the way up from the bottom. So this is gonna be where you're gripping. Now, the next thing from here, how are we actually holding it in our hands? Well, unfortunately for me, for about 12 years, I was holding my stick like this. My fulcrum was way up here on my hand. I had no control over the stick, and I would wonder why my hands would get so painful after playing for even a short period of time. Stick goes on the last knuckle of your index finger. So if we take the last knuckle away from your hand, so we have on the index finger, we have knuckle 1, 2, and 3. We're putting it all the way at the end. When you have that stick on the last knuckle of your index finger, your thumb is gonna get placed on top. And to start, we wanna see a little bit of air in between your thumb and index right in here, okay? Now, I'm not even talking about the back 3 fingers yet, because once we're holding the stick correctly, we need to train our brain and to strengthen some of the connection that we have through our thumb and index finger to maintain a proper fulcrum. Especially considering this is such an active instrument where you're moving big time with all 4 limbs, any little bit of tension might feel okay at the beginning, but it starts to add up, particularly for you rock and metal drummers who like to hit a little bit harder. So maintaining that fulcrum contact down here keeps your hand in the most relaxed position. Because if you think about it, you're just leaving your hand extended, your fingers extended, and you bring the thumb and index together. That's where you're holding the stick, keeps things nice and comfortable, but still powerful enough to maintain that positioning on your stick. This has got to be the dumbest exercise you're probably gonna do, but it works, okay? We're putting our hand in the weakest and most vulnerable position. So all I'm doing is I'm grabbing my fulcrum. You ready for this? That's it. I'm not even doing this to a click, nothing crazy. The one key here is I'm not rotating out and coming back in. All I'm doing is I'm raising my wrist straight up and I'm hitting it in a palm down grip, okay? So we don't want to be in a French grip where your thumb is facing up, because guess what? If I let go of my thumb, the stick is going to stay there. But if I'm in this grip where my palm is facing down, if I let go of the stick, it falls out of my hand. So it's putting the fulcrum in a really weak position where you have to keep that contact point super strong in order for you to develop that fulcrum strength. Do it like over the course of 30 days. Do it for 2.5 minutes every single day on each hand. So 2.5 minutes on your right hand, 2.5 minutes on your left hand. You can do a whole bunch of variations. You can do 1 bar right eighth notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, left, 2, 3, 4, both, 2, 3, 4, singles, 2, 3, 4, 1. I can't tell you how many drummers this has helped. We can move on to the first gear of articulation, your wrists. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate the wrist. Here's the hand structure you need to do this properly. Starting from, you guessed it, the fulcrum. I'm going to use my back 3 fingers to gently seal the stick to my palm. Just enough pressure so that if I'm holding my stick with my palm facing up, the stick isn't coming up off of my palm. You don't want to be squeezing too tight. You want to just go to that point where you're keeping the butt of the stick pressed against your palm for the entirety of this exercise. Keeping your stick height nice and low to your practice pad, we're going to go through a grid of 8th notes and 16th notes, only using your wrists. That's your wrist development, okay? A few critical things here. Number 1, consistent dynamics. What I see happening all the time is for the 8th notes, the stick heights will be really high and loud. And then whenever it gets to the 16th notes, it comes down. We don't want to do that. We want to keep all of our dynamics and stick heights consistent as we're performing this exercise. Next, we don't want to see any air in the back of the stick. So if you're doing this exercise and you're having air in the back, you're not isolating your wrists. The version of this exercise I'm going to include will be beats 1 and 2 are 8th notes, beats 3 and 4 are 16th notes. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4E and a left and 2 and 3E and a 4E and a right and 2 and 3E and a 4E and a left, 2, 3, 4, 1. The goal is not to push this as fast as you can. It's to keep your wrist loose and mobile so that you can focus on developing it without getting the fingers a part of the equation here. This is not how you're going to be playing around the drum set, just sealing the stick to your palm. This is in our controlled environment where you're working on developing your wrists. We're going for about 1 minute to 2 minutes straight without mistakes or inconsistencies before you increase your tempo. Once your wrists know how to function as a part of the equation, it's time to bring in the final gear, which is the one that most drummers neglect and is probably the most controversial. We are going to be isolating and developing the feel of our fingers. This exercise is probably gonna frustrate you like nothing else, and you're gonna wanna quit really early. But if you stick with it, the payoff will be exceptional. So if you've seen some of my videos, you'll know that I pretty much prescribe this exercise to every drummer. And there's a reason for that. This is the most critical component to help your fingers work with your wrists so that you can be, most importantly, a more efficient but also faster drummer behind the kit. Hold your stick up in the air, start wiggling it, only using your fingers. I'm not using my wrists, I'm not using my hand, nothing. From here, you do that exact same motion on your practice pad. So in this position, the thumb and index have 2 key responsibilities. Number 1, they are holding the stick. Number 2, they are the source of movement. What I am doing is introducing the momentum down into the pad and letting it rebound. That's what we're looking for with finger dribbling. I have that bounce going from my thumb and index finger. Now, just this alone is going to be very challenging. From here, we are going to bring each finger onto the stick individually. For example, when my middle finger is on the stick, the thumb and index switch to just holding. So the movement is no longer coming from my thumb and index. My middle finger pulls the stick down to bounce it off of the pad, and it comes back up. Once I reach the top, I reintroduce that motion down for it to bounce off, and it comes back up. So you do the middle finger. Next, you go to the ring finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After the ring finger, you guessed it, you go to the pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go to all fingers. So in total, we're doing a 5-bar exercise in 8th notes. Now, because this is a dribbling exercise, which means there's momentum, the slower you go, the harder it will be because you need to have a larger bounce. So this is the one exercise I'm okay with you starting a little bit faster, around 100 or 110 BPM, just to help carry that momentum a little bit and help you develop the dribbling. Once you can do that, cycling through each finger consistently at up to 120 BPM for 2 minutes straight in eighth notes without mistakes or inconsistencies, then you're gonna switch to doing all fingers at all times. At this point, you're starting to develop everything in isolation. Once you have control of your wrists in isolation, your fulcrum is nice and strong, and you know what it feels like to have your fingers on the stick without the wrist or your arm getting a part of the equation. Then you move on to the exercise that brings everything together so that you can start to unlock that serious control behind the kit. There's one exercise that I would have every drummer work on. This is drop catch. How do we do it? Well, it all starts again from your fulcrum. You're gonna do what I call a grip reset. So putting the stick where the fulcrum would go, okay, on the last knuckle of your index finger, and then letting it rest at a downward angle on your pad. Take your thumb, place it on top. Slowly start to squeeze until the stick comes up parallel to the floor. You're squeezing too tight if it comes up past parallel, and you're too loose if it's below parallel. This is your baseline starting tension. It will adjust as you go. This is where you're starting from. Now in this position, my thumb is facing up, so I'm in a French grip. What I'm gonna do from here, rotate so that I'm palm down. Now, another key here. If you're squeezing too tight, there will be air between the back of your stick and your palm. That grip reset should have you with just enough pressure so that the butt of the stick rests against your palm. Step 3 is to raise the wrist and drop it. All I'm doing is I'm raising my wrist straight up and I'm dropping it. So without the stick in my hand, the motion is like this, down. Now, step 4, we want to get a more pronounced first bounce. So we want some distance in the sound between that first bounce and the rest of the sequence. Here's what that looks and sounds like. Step 5, we're going to stop the stick using our back 3 fingers at the top of that first bounce. Here's what that looks like. Once you're confident getting to here with your back 3 fingers coming in, step 6, we are going to chase the stick with our back 3 fingers throughout the drop. That's what it looks like. One more time. And then step 7, you're just closing the stick to your palm with your back 3 fingers. Now, sometimes as you're doing drop catch, you might feel like the stick will go out far past your pinky. That's totally fine. Because once you start performing the motion a little bit more refined, you're not going to let that stick go way up high. But as a part of your initial development of drop catch, that's going to be a symptom. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. Just focus on getting there and exaggerating the movement. So we've deconstructed the grip. You have your fulcrum, your wrists, your fingers, and using them all together. This is one of the best ways that you can develop the speed to play like these incredible drummers who are able to play blisteringly fast, who have gotten to that point of using the wrists and fingers together efficiently. If you want the day-to-day plan with tempos, benchmarks, and check-in points already built into it, then grab the hand speed plan in the description completely for free so you can start leveling up your hand control today. And if you want the same kind of breakdown for foot speed, so the isolation, all the exercises, and understanding how it all works together, then make sure you click right here to check it out.